It is training camp season, and we are gone camping.
Are those your Iowa roots coming out?
I've never been camping.
Never.
Have you? You grew up in the sticks of Florida. You've probably been camping before.
Whoa, that is so unnecessary. And I have been camping in a log cabin, Christopher. I grew up in Flagler Beach, for anyone who is wondering what the sticks of Florida look like. Anyways, continue.
Ryan Wilson is here with us, and we're going to talk about some of the reports we've been hearing around training camp. We have some good reports. We have some not so good reports, like out of Titans camp. Cam Ward, the #1 pick, reportedly struggling again today, back-to-back days. He spoke to the media, said the offense, these are his words, the offense is, quote, mid right now. What are his biggest issues, Ryan?
Perhaps he needs to go camping. I went camping once about 2 summers ago, tried to get into it with my kids, and that lasted about one night. Camping is not meant to be for people living in the 21st century. As for Cam Ward, so 3 interceptions yesterday, threw another one today, and I'm not going to be too overly concerned. Number one, that Titans team was not very good last year, and they have a lot of things they need to fix. Wide receivers among them. Now you have a rookie quarterback, the first overall pick, who admittedly is facing less pressure than most first overall picks, perhaps because he's playing in Nashville, but he's just made some mistakes. And I know you remember this, Chris, because I talked about it a lot last year, that first preseason game where Caleb Williams went to Buffalo and looked like the best player on planet Earth, and then the 2024 regular season unfolded. So I think we just need to be a little patient, let this unfold. You're going to have growing pains in camp, whether you're Patrick Mahomes or whether you're Cam Ward. So I'm not overly concerned about it. Even if he struggles early on, that's fine. That's the whole point of playing for a team that had the first overall pick, trying to figure your way through it. And also, Drake May wasn't great last preseason at times, and he had a fantastic rookie season under some trying circumstances, perhaps circumstances similar to what Cam Ward will face in terms of the lack of talent around him. So it's all part of the process. I love the opportunity to get to use the word mid, so thank you for that, Cam. But at the end of the day, I'm not too worried about Cam Ward or the Tennessee Titans in terms of his progress as the first overall pick a week into training camp.
The average completion percentage for an NFL quarterback is around 65%. Anthony Richardson, though, barely above 50% to start his career. This is a guy that's been trying to find it for a long time. Last season, it dipped even lower to under 48%. But why is there room for optimism out of Colts camp?
This feels like a graphic that Florida alum Jacqueline DiAgostino put together to reiterate the fact that Anthony Richardson can be at times extremely frustrating to watch. And 47.7 just sort of slaps you in the face. But, and here's the but, Jacqueline, maybe too little too late for the Gators, but not for the Colts. He has been pretty good this training camp, and maybe it's all relative. Maybe just everyone needs to stand next to Daniel Jones when they're throwing passes. And no disrespect to Daniel Jones, but there's a reason this is his third football team. But also, Anthony has admitted that he needed to work harder. He needed to take his job more seriously. I can't say this without laughing because he was a 5th overall pick to be a franchise quarterback. But I think he went through some growing pains last year. Getting benched for Joe Flacco will probably do that for you. But I think he understands what he needs to do off the field because physically we're all well aware of what he's capable of. It's just a matter of being consistent. And as Jacqueline will probably tell you, he only started 13 games at Florida. So there was a huge room for improvement once he got to the league. And I think now that he's embracing what it means to be a franchise quarterback and all that goes into that, hopefully this is the corner. This is the year he turns that corner because when he is on, he is absolutely electric. And when he is off, it's you're on the graphic with Achilles Smith and Tim Tebow and Jamarcus Russell. So I think this is going to be the season where he starts to put it all together. And I'm glad the signs are positive thus far through training camp for Anthony Richardson.
Let's go to Panthers camp now, where the arrow's starting to point up a little bit for that team. Bryce Young kind of turning things around last season. They went out and they got Hunter Renfrow, who apparently was close to retiring. He said that Dabo Swinney, his college coach, basically said, hey, give it one more shot, give it a go. And he's reportedly playing well, but just hurt his hamstring in camp. Do you believe he still makes the team despite that injury?
I would be fighting tooth and nail to get him on that team if I were Bryce Young. And right, he didn't play in 2024 because of a medical issue, but when he came into the league in 2021 after playing what felt like 10 seasons at Clemson, he was absolutely dominant. He could not be covered out of the slot. And I think he gives Bryce Young, that Adam Thielen-like security blanket, but 4 or 5 or 6 years younger. They have Ted McMillan, who they drafted, big play wide receiver. They have Xavier Legette, last year's first-round pick, big play wide receiver. Thielen's 34, and then you have someone like Hunter Renfrow who can fill that role as well. Jalen Coker has been a fantastic story as a year 2 player. They have JT Sanders, the tight end drafted last year out of Texas. And my point is this: there are playmakers around Bryce Young finally, and I think we're going to see him take the next step as well based on what we saw the last half of last season, in addition to the playmakers we're talking about. But I would do everything in my power to keep Hunter Renfrow, because when he is healthy, you cannot cover him in the slot. He is a touchdown machine, which I love saying about a guy who's 5'10 and 185 and plays the way he does. Fingers crossed he gets back sooner rather than later, because he has been one of the highlights of that Panthers camp, and there have been a lot of reasons for optimism in Carolina.
Yeah, Dave Canales saying that camp so far has been special for a Carolina Panthers team that's plus 400 to win that NFC South division. Let's move to the Miami Dolphins, and they just lost cornerback Kadir Kohu to a season-ending knee injury, and that leads me to ask the question, who is getting reps now in the secondary? Who's going to suit up for this team with all of these guys either leaving or out for the season or still free agents?
Yeah, Artie Burns also on this list tore his ACL. So it's slim pickings. And the good news, even though there's some upheaval in the secondary, they do have Micah Fitzpatrick back, which is great. He can't do it all by himself, of course. The good news is first-round pick Kenneth Grant, who plays along the defensive line, has been dominant during training camp thus far. And you're going to need that front 4, that front 7 even, to get after it, to make life easier for the secondary, which is looking for guys off the street as we speak to try to fill the holes left by all those injuries we're talking about here. But I was on the podcast, Pushing the Pile, with Kyle and Mike earlier today, and we were talking about the Rams and how good they are. Their front 7 in terms of creating pressure and making life easier for their secondary. That's the exact approach the Dolphins are going to have. Jalen Phillips is going to be back. He'll be healthy. They have Jordan Brooks at linebacker, and of course they have Kenneth Grant, who I mentioned. All reasons for optimism if you're trying to take the pressure off a secondary who has been beleaguered by injury, and it is not yet even August. So huge concerns there in a division that I think is going to be incredibly tough even outside of Buffalo. I think the Jets are going to be better. I think the Patriots could be a lot better, and Miami needs to figure some things out on the back end. They're giving themselves a chance here.
Ryan Wilson gone camping and gone podding as well. Very latest with the First Pick podcast.
That sounded weird.
Gone podding. Does sound a little weird, doesn't it? Latest episode, 10 burning questions for NFL rookies.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.